Yeah, so my other video got cut off. I was going in. I was yelling. I was yelling like a mofo, and I don't regret it. Y'all need to hear that. Cause I'm telling you, if y'all see some of these cases where some of these kids, something happened to them, they end up missing, like it's so messed up because children, bro. So this is what this COVID stuff is all about, a narcissistic revolution. They want to be able to hurt people. They want to be able to exploit innocent people, including children. They, you know, and so, you know, this is what I believe that this COVID is all about. Them trying to cover up what is being exposed. Empaths are coming together and realizing that nothing's going to change unless they expose the corruption. And the narcissists, they can't have that. They can't have that. And the reason why they can't have that is because if people found out what these narcissists were capable of, they would be hated for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. The society as a whole is not into pedophilia. A society as a whole ain't into murder. Society as a whole ain't into exploiting people's weaknesses and pushing a victim into suicide. The society is not into that. Like, if you notice, the majority of society, it's not like they hate people like that. So just know that narcissism is not normal. I honestly believe that, because people say that there are more narcissists out there than there are good people, and I honestly don't believe that. I honestly believe that narcissists are very good at convincing good people that there's not very many of us. I just think that so many of us are toxic, and a lot of us are under the narcissist's grip. That's why they're having this narcissistic revolution, because too many people are waking up. They don't have as many supporters anymore. If they don't have supporters or enablers, they don't have supply. So this is their revolution. This is their tantrum. The COVID was a narcissistic tantrum, more so than I don't feel like narcissism and revolution should be used in the same sentence to coincide with each other, honestly, because they're a paradox. It's a paradox. It's a concept that's very hard to put together when it comes to narcissism. But anybody can have a revolution. It's just, is that revolution a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I guess it's not a revolution, then it would be looting, wouldn't it be? It would be looting, I guess. So this is a narcissistic tantrum. I think tantrum's better, because looting is more like destroying property. Rioting is like, you know, I think a riot is legitimate. Looting is not. So yeah, narcissists are out here looting, but I think the overall reason as to why they're looting is because it's a tantrum. It's a narcissistic tantrum. And so because they out here looking like dried up vampires, this is their revolution this is their attempt to get narcissistic supply. They're playing on people's desperation, but I guess they underestimated how strong we are. They underestimated us, therefore them getting, I guess, the short end of the stick. I would say that because, honestly, because, you know, people are figuring out who they are, and it's just getting harder for them to pretend like they're something they're not. At least I think so. Excuse me. So I personally believe that this is like some kind of like narcissistic tantrum, I guess. And I just threw a tantrum a couple seconds ago, but that wasn't no narcissistic tantrum. A narcissistic tantrum is somebody getting as mad as I got because they can't hurt you or abuse you anymore. That's a narcissistic tantrum. Now, that was basically me getting angry at society, and myself included, for allowing something bad like child sex trafficking to thrive like it has. I watched this Young Pharaoh video, and he said, if extraterrestrials really did exist and they were, coming back to help us or to protect us, the human species, well, the reason why they ain't doing that is because what he said was the reason why they probably ain't come back to help us yet is because we a disgrace. Honestly, it sounded harsh when I first heard it, but then when I realized the evil behind humanity, I was like, yeah, we're a damn disgrace, myself included. And until, like I said, I become a freedom fighter for justice, you know what I'm saying? And I light a fire under this shit, then yeah, I'm a disgrace too. And I know that's hard to say, but no. I know too much to not say nothing. That's bogus. It would be bogus as hell of me not to say nothing. And I wish a motherfucker would try to fucking kidnap me. I swear to God, bro. But that's just a side note. I will dig somebody's eyeballs out with my claw. I'm not playing, bro. These narcissists, they know we not playing, bro. They know we're sick and tired of them. They know. And this is their little tantrum. This is why, notice that they haven't started martial law yet. Wanna know why they ain't start yet? Because they know. They know we're fed up and we're sick of them. And I think the only way that they would do martial law if it's just the last case scenario. But I think from here on out, the narcissists are going to start becoming more covert. They're going to start becoming more educated and learning how to be more fake. And pretty soon, maybe them putting all that energy to being fake, hopefully they'll actually become decent people. But the point that I'm trying to say is they're going to start, hiding, being more hidden, using more flying monkeys, and none of that's going to matter. It doesn't matter. Just the fact that they're choosing to continue to be a narcissist and not work on themselves is going to be enough for justice to be brought upon them. It don't matter if they fake it or not, because honestly, God already prepared us for that. God already knew that they were going to be more covert and sneaky. So guess what? God made us more intuitive, where we don't just go off of words and actions anymore. We go off of vibes, intentions, and patterns. So we're always going to be one step ahead of the narcissist. Always. I believe that. We're always going to be one step ahead of the narcissist. We're always going to be one step ahead of the narcissist. Always. Always, always, always. So don't get it twisted. The narcissists may be seeming like they're winning, but they're not. Let one of them narcissists try to kidnap you. What you gonna do? I know you're not gonna just lay over and say, oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah, kidnap me. Yeah, because you could do anything with me after that. Once you have possession of my body, you can do anything after that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to let you do that. No, you're not. You're going to fight with everything you have, right? I would imagine. But when they kidnap children, they know that children can't fight with everything they have. Or if they try, if it's an adult that's participating in this, they know that child's not going to be able to fight that adult off. Now, if that child knows like some kind of martial arts, taekwondo, or knows some kind of tactics, then, you know what I'm saying? But if that child don't know no tactics, they don't know how to fight off a kidnapper, then unfortunately that child is susceptible, and that's not okay. That's why I got as angry as I did, and I feel like I had every right to get angry like that. That's bogus. Like, anybody should be that angry. Like, everybody, why is everybody not that angry that there's child sex trafficking like this? Why are there people out there that are still supporting Hillary, not knowing that she's a pedophile? She's a pedophile. Like, even if you don't touch a child and you support pedophilia, you're a pedophile. You are a pedophile. If you're supporting it, you are a pedophile. I don't care if you run in child sex organizations, child sex slave organizations, you are a pedophile. Now, I don't want to hear no, you're a sex offender. No, you're a pedophile. Pedophile. Like, and I'm throwing that word around because pedophilia, it bothers me because it's like, oh my goodness, it's a child. Oh my goodness. What the fuck? That's not normal. It's not normal to have that mindset. Oh, yeah, a child. Let's try a relationship. No, that's not normal. Even being with a child that's 16, that's still a child. Legally, that's still a child. And in some cases, I do understand how teenagers develop early, especially nowadays. They getting tall, you know, they may have facial hair, whatever. But it ain't no way it ain't occur to you that child was still a teen. Like, you can tell. Sometimes you can tell. You can look at their face and tell they still a teen. There's no excuse. Pedophiles be making excuses. No, it's an excuse. No, it's not okay. It's not. Like I said, if you have standards, like, say if your mindset is right, no matter how old you are, like, say you're like in your 20s, right? And your boundaries, your standards are, you're not going to date someone younger than 18, which that should be everybody's standard, even if you're an old creep. Like, okay, it's creepy that you're dating an 18-year-old, but you know, no one can send you to jail for that. Like, if you get involved with an 18-year-old, unfortunately that 18-year-old will be held accountable for their actions legally. Now, I think it's creepy, you know, someone that's a certain amount of years older and they're dating someone that's young, especially someone that, like I said, is old enough to be your grandfather or your mother. Like, that's kind of weird. I try not to judge, but to each his own. But I think when it really starts getting weird is someone that's old enough to be your grandparent that's trying to talk to you. That's to me is pedophilia. Even if, let's say you're 20, this person's 70, that's pedophilia to me. It is. But they can't get charged for that because you're a legal adult. But I think that adult has a pedophile mindset, especially if it's too big of an age gap. It's understandable 10, 20 years because those two people are at their youth. Like, a 20-year-old and a 40-year-old they both look young. And 9 times out of 10, the 20 and 40-year-old, if that 40-year-old is taking good care of themselves, they're going to look the same age. So I can, to a certain degree, understand why someone would date someone 20 years apart. That younger person may have a mature mindset. That older person may have a young mindset, and they meet and they bump, they clash, and they, you know, have an intimate relationship. I think it's still a bit weird, but I understand to a certain degree why it's like that. Like I said, some people my age are very mature, and then there are some people who are twice my age that they feel young, therefore they act young. Not immature, but they act and they feel young, which is okay. I honestly don't think it's anything wrong with being childlike or acting young. I just feel like it comes with its limits. Like, if you're 40 years old and you're going to the club every day, there's something wrong with that. Now, I think it's wrong. It's something wrong with anybody going to the club every day. But it's normal. It's more normal for, say, someone my age to go to the club every day than it is for someone that's about 50 years old. Like, that's gonna look weird. Now, like I said, if that person's taking good care of their health, they look young, I don't see it being a problem them going every once in a while. Or shoot, if you got free time, go every weekend. Hey, I ain't got no issues with that. But I feel that, you know, someone that age could be doing something more productive, such as, you know, teaching the youth in some way, shape, or form, whether it's being a teacher or a guidance counselor, or, you know, just something. Like, if you're gonna go to the club every weekend, at least let it be a balance to where you're actually teaching the youth something. Because even though you look and feel young, you still have 20 years of experience that this other person doesn't have. Because if you can't teach this person nothing, then you are a 20-year-old stuck in a 40-year-old's body, and that's not good. That basically means immaturity. But, you know, I'm getting way off the topic, but yeah, you know, pedophilia, that's just, I feel like pedophilia is one of the first things that's being exposed, because that's really bad. It's a really, really heinous crime. Oh, there's a cop over there too, by the way. I don't know if you probably can't see that, but yeah, the cops are a part of it. It's a narcissistic tantrum, and instead of the police, like I said, making a better world for us, like they've been put in the position to do so, because the police do have power whether they realize that or not, which they have. That's why they're abusing it right now. But instead of the police protecting and looking out for people, they look out for their own pockets. And I feel like COVID virus, or the COVID pandemic has exposed that more than anything. And I honestly believe that that tow truck, like I said, these tow trucks are also a part of it. These tow trucks are also a part of the New World Order agenda. I just want to let y'all know. But anyway, moving on. Well, I was gonna say something. I got distracted because that tow truck pulled up. Yeah, it's really just I'm gonna move actually, because when I'm around someone or something that I feel is disrupting my my aura, my vibe, I get up and move now. I don't just sit there and tolerate it, because when I do, that person ends up approaching me at some point. So that's why I get up and leave. Because I honestly, I don't feel like being bothered. I've sensed that people that approach me nowadays be on bullshit for the most part. So that's why I get up and leave. But anyway, yeah, so basically the whole agenda, COVID virus basically, or the COVID pandemic basically was like a narcissistic tantrum, and it backfired on them, not us. The pressure was applied on us because we had allowed an evil to thrive too long, but we didn't know. We didn't know better. A lot of us were asleep. A lot of us didn't have the power. The police were getting in the way, and they were stepping on our necks. And I honestly think that COVID is removing the police from standing in our way of reaching divine intervention. The police were standing in our way. Now it's going to be the military that's coming up next. Then we're going to move them out the way. Then I believe whatever evil creatures are hiding in the shadows are going to come out, and we're going to be forced to fight them, which is fine. We will. But what's in the way is the police. We're removing the police out the way. The police are losing their power now. And the sellouts are still police officers right now, most of them. If they ain't speaking out for justice, then they still got their job. If they're speaking out for justice at this point right now, they're not a police officer anymore. Which proves my point, what I've been saying this entire time about the police and the government. So like I said, if it's a police officer that's a good police officer at this day and age, at this point right now, June something, I don't remember the day. And I know if I check right now, the video is gonna stop. But it's June right now, June 2020. And as of today, June 2020, if there's any good police officers out there, they ain't got their job. I can tell you that now. They don't have their job. And like I said, and I don't like to try to take a dump on people's dreams, because I know that there are some people out there that believe the police are actually, you see, that just goes to show what I'm saying. Speak of the devil. Now maybe there is, like I said, maybe there is, maybe I got my foot in my mouth. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that police officer really was stopping crime. And maybe. But their timing is bad. I was just talking about a police officer. There was a police officer that was right there right before I came, and then another one passed me by. And I was like, all while I was talking about the police. Their timing is bad. Because when I talk about the police on a video, or when I expose something that's important, the police come. I'm sure y'all have seen some videos where y'all have seen, I'm sure y'all have seen some videos where y'all saw a Amazon truck or a police car or an ambulance. There may have even been some videos where I've had to show you somebody that was harassing me. And trust me, when I film these people, they harass me many times before that. That's why I had to get to a point where I had to film them, because they were not going to leave me alone unless I did put them on film. Now, some of them I was only able to film once. Some of them I had to film multiple times. But just know, this is why when I take these nature walks sometimes, you see me walking around at night, or maybe even sometimes during the day, and I talk and I get upset or whatever, just know I have to deal with this on a daily basis. The things that I show you guys and I record, or the times where I express myself, is because I had to get to this point. I would have never been focused on exposing these narcissists, because like I said, I didn't know that it was that bad, and I don't have that mindset. You know, most people who are healthy, or at least who try to be, don't think out of the ordinary. Like, who thinks of kidnapping and exploiting people? Like, people don't really think like that. Not normal people. So I didn't think that narcissists were that bad until I started finding out more and more and more and more. And like I said, after being constantly harassed, I'm being harassed every day. I've been being harassed every day of my life since, I'd say, 2015. I've been harassed every day of my life since 2015. By flying monkeys, narcissists, enablers, you know. And the codependents who could have said something to help me because they saw what was being done to me, and they could have defended me or spoken out with me and joined me. They didn't. And sometimes they either, like I said, pacified it and watched everything, or sometimes they even joined in on it. And that's where they became flying monkeys. That's where they became enablers. And so, unfortunately, you know, I'm kind of on my own right now. But as far as, you know, walking my path, if people join me, people follow me down that path, then they do. But I'm willing to walk it alone. I don't need anyone but God and universal support. That's it. I got my own club. I don't need to be a part of no Freemason. I don't need to be a part of a Freemasonic club that likes to touch little kids. I don't like that shit. That's just not cute to me. Like, I like, you know, a full-grown man with a beard. I like you know, well, I'm bisexual, but I like a grown woman that, you know, is fully developed and older, at least older than 20 or older. Like, I don't think that it's okay to, like, that's just not normal. I don't understand. Like, if I have a child within my vicinity, I would see them more as like, oh, I gotta babysit them, or, you know, they're like, you know, kid sister or something, kid brother. Like, that's what I would see them as. Or shit, damn near even a kid. Depending on how young they are, I could even see them as as you know, my adopted child. You know what I'm saying? If it comes down to that. But that's how I would see it. But I wouldn't feel comfortable. Like, I just, that's so gross. But this is what COVID is all about. The corruption within the government being exposed, and the government going on a narcissistic tantrum, a narcissistic rage to stop people from progressing, reaching a higher level of frequency and tapping into their metagenes, like Mr. Young Pharaoh was saying. He was saying something about metagenes, and I wanted to, you know, go in on that as well. Well, not too much, because that ain't my area of expertise, but I just wanted to add that, yes, they don't want us to tap into our metagenes. That's what it's come down to. It's genetics. That's the big secret. That's the big Mason, the Freemason, not even Masonic, because that's what they get it from. The Masons, the Ma'atsons. That's what they get their ideas from. They stole that from African spirituality. Freemasons stole their entire setup from African spirituality. So, like, most of their concepts weren't even originally evil. They made it evil to keep us away from it, so we wouldn't tap into our metagenes, so that we wouldn't know the truth about genetics and how that plays a part in our abilities, and why some of us are targeted in the first place through our genetics. Our genetics have a code, and, you know, codes have a message. Messages can be articulated and interpreted into words. riddles, poems, stories, lessons, right? And so if the Freemasons are in control of that information, then they can be in control of our bodies, technically. And we would be zombies. We would be like that episode of SpongeBob where Plankton actually, you know what I'm saying, found out where Plankton almost found out, or I think he did find the secret Krabby Patty formula, or he got very close to it. And he had all his plans, and he used the very last plan of brainwashing everybody. Like brainwashing everybody to go against Mr. Krabs. Or more specifically SpongeBob, because SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs were the only one that knew the formula. Not even Squidward knew the formula. It was only Mr. Krabs. And Mr. Krabs knew the formula, but he didn't practice what he knew. SpongeBob did. That was a difference. So Mr. Krabs was able to explain to SpongeBob what the secret formula was, but Mr. Krabs couldn't put it into work. Only SpongeBob could. Not even Squidward could. Because the secret formula to making Krabby Patties is love. The secret formula to any meal is love. It's going to come out in your food. And a genuine love for what you do and for cooking, and being adamant about making sure you put the right amount of seasoning, you know what I'm saying, and it's cooked thoroughly. But if you don't care about the customers, if you don't care how your food tastes or looks or feels, it's good. You're going to be a terrible cook. If you don't care about how, you know, things look or presented, you just want it. You're 9 times out of 10, you're going to be ordering from someone else versus being the cook. Now, some people, they like their food a certain way because they know how to cook and they love to cook. Therefore, they know what people like. They know what people have a taste for. So if somebody says, I want something savory but a little sour, well, I already know. Okay, well, I can marinate some lemon juice and some chicken, put some pepper on there, and maybe a little bit of sea salt, and throw it and marinate it. Throw that baby in the fridge. Take it out and cook it on the stove. Chop that baby up. You know, cook it on the stove. Make some shredded chicken, or I can make some fajitas. Cook it on the grill and make some fajitas. And there's something that's savory that got a little bit of a sour kick to it. But I love to cook. Like, I love to cook. You know, so I know what I like. I don't really prefer people cook for me unless it's something basic that anybody can make. But I've experienced other people's cooking, and sometimes they cooking ain't that good. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I've had some bad experiences. I've been around the block. and I know what tastes good, what doesn't. I know what has too much seasoning, what doesn't have enough. I mean, and if it doesn't have enough, that doesn't really so much bother me as it being undercooked. If the food is undercooked, that's a problem. But the seasoning part, it's like, I can eat it plain. You know, as long as it's cooked thoroughly, then, you know, I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to delete this video because I feel like I rambled.